Good afternoon, George Cavaligos for HFT Bonds. I missed a rockin' sell-off on Friday. Last night the markets recovered. Actually, 10 years made a half a tick lower low, and today we closed higher. That is a minor bullish reversal signal. Minor bullish reversal signal projects a retest of today's highs, maybe even a little bit more. Bonds did an inside day trade. It's not as bullish as the minor bull reversal on the 10-year, but it also is a minor trend change indicator looking for a retest of today's highs. Today's highs were kind of short of reaching some important resistance levels. If you look at the fib retracements of the sell-off, 127.04 and 136.14 I think are the next fib retracements of the sell-off that we could look for a retest of overnight or into tomorrow morning. That's kind of my short-term game plan. Problem with that situation is you need to have a fairly loose stop on that. The stops would have been the lows from overnight, and that's a tough trade. I don't think that'll come into play. The whole pattern we saw today intraday was very, very quiet, and it looks like a minor bullish flag. If you pull up like a 5-minute or a 30-minute chart, you can see how the markets just went sideways to a little bit lower after the highs were put in this morning, and those are usually somewhat bullish, and again they project a retest of the highs. So I think short term you want to be a little bit friendly, not looking for a lot out of it. I'd love to see a retest of those fib levels that I talked about previously. I think at that point maybe just take your couple ticks and run if you get a long on tonight into tomorrow morning. Going forward, we're all focused on Friday's unemployment number. It's supposed to be very weak. I think that's one of the things keeping us a little bit better bid here today, and I think we might see that kind of a situation all week. We also have a pretty good sequence of Fed buys this week. Today was a pretty big buyback in the 6-7 year area, and I think if you look at the overall pattern this week, there's pretty good buybacks all week. I think that's going to tend to support the market early in the morning into those buybacks, and you want to play those trades. Look for weakness early in the morning or overnight to exit into the buyback. Keeping it short term here, I don't see much happening. Look at the volumes today. Oh my God, 510,000 10-years and 143,000 bonds. That's running less than half of recent averages. That's not cool in terms of any kind of real trend type trade. Taking one step at a time, I'm going to stay short term focused here until we see that unemployment number on Friday. We're expecting a number. I think the data I saw on Forex Factory was they're looking for 126,000. I have heard some lower numbers. I think the guys at Trim Tabs are actually looking for a sub 100K number on Friday. Bonds won't go down with a sub 100K non-farm payroll number. So I'm kind of thinking chop around this week, maybe between last night's lows and some of these fib retracements that we left on the way down. So keep that idea in mind. What else? Commitment of traders data, finally getting caught up, came out Friday. And there's some interesting stuff there. The dealers had been lightening up into the early part of October on their big long position. They're adding back their longs. Hedge funds are increasing their shorts, and small specs are increasing their shorts too. I keep looking at that as one of my underlying reasons to be bullish. I also think that this correction higher, after we saw the big sell-off from May to September, we've only had roughly a month and a half of sideways to higher prices, and I think it might take a little bit more sideways to higher prices or corrective activity to take over some of the big oversold readings on some of the longer term charts. So choppiness ahead into what do we got? Wednesday we have the refunding announcement too for next week. So in the old days when we had 4 refundings a year, it was buy the May refunding and sell the November refunding. Maybe we rally into the November refunding again. I don't know. That's still not real clear on the top of my head right now. But slightly bullish, I guess, is the way to look at this thing. Looking for some kind of a dip here in the late afternoon, early evening session to maybe find some longs in the early AM session tomorrow morning. That's my short-term game plan. That's all I'm really going to be feeling confident about right now. So have a great night, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.